matter. But what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Hello and good morning. Welcome in on this Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Kenny Kidd. Good morning, Kenny.
Hi.
How's it going, Kenny?
It's going great.
It's going?
It's going.
How about the weather?
A little rough out there.
A little bit, yeah. Be careful if you're out there driving. Thunderstorms throughout the day. I will say this, tonight might be one of those nights you could open up the window, sleep with the window open.
Maybe.
That's
We'll
the
see.
way it's looking. And right now in Cleveland, 74 degrees. If you're on the lakeshore, it's 71 degrees with heavy rain. So, a day to stay in and listen to the radio. So welcome. We're also available on Rumble, X, and YouTube. Just search The Jake Underwood Show. Yesterday, we got a little sidetracked. Well, not necessarily sidetracked. I think we all did a lot of venting when talking about Vivek Ramaswamy and the way that he's running his campaign and everything with that. So today, we're going to get caught up on some things. It's the best way to put it. Tariffs. There's been some new tariffs imposed, one on Canada. We'll give you the details of all of that. There are some changes coming to Ohio's education. It's interesting. I'm interested to hear what not only Kenny thinks about it, but what you think about it. And on any of these topics, if you feel that you want to call in and sound off, feel free to do so. That number is 216-901-0945. And what be more than happy to hear from you, as well as some updates in Iran. And Kenny, I apologize now.
Yeah.
LeBron watch.
Oh no.
It's coming down to the final few days. Cleveland's being rumored.
Decision already.
Cleveland's being rumored in it. So,
Cares? Just
if
make a decision and do it.
If he decides that he loves us again, that's a big deal.
Is it?
Yes. Don't you remember that day?
Some prima donna past his prime coming back to Cleveland.
No,
Yay!
don't you know that it will be the spirit of Cleveland, Ohio, and Moses Cleveland himself that will enter into LeBron, and he'll play like he's 25 again.
Really? What
Yes.
about Moses Akron?
Moses Akron. I met him once.
Did you?
I did, yes. But yeah, so we'll talk about LeBron as well, because it's look, when it comes to LeBron stuff, I try everything to not get wrapped up in it, and I'm like, all right, because here's the thing. I know that people have been talking about it for the last month and a half. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. But as we come closer, there are rumors saying that it's probably going to be this week.
Okay.
And then, and then his agent comes out and goes, only person who knows is LeBron. Okay, sure.
Uh-huh.
The agent would have no idea.
No, he's
sure.
He's left in the dark. That's what you do with
Oh,
agents.
yeah,
You
no,
leave them in the
definitely.
dark. You don't
Yeah.
let them know anything that you're planning. No,
And
don't
in
do
no
that.
way is the agent, negotiating these contracts. Nothing like that. No. LeBron is the only one who knows, and LeBron will snap and say, excuse me, Mr. Paul, I think I figured out where I'm going. And he'll go, oh, very good. Where?
I'm
Where?
taking my talents.
Yes, I'm going to take my talents back to Cleveland. I think he's going to end up here.
No.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Can I tell you why I think he's going to end up
Why?
here? Because the Cavs have new jerseys, and he's going to make a ridiculous amount of money for people buying the new, possibly last, LeBron jersey.
I think he's going to Miami, and then next year he'll do his retirement tour in Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's interesting. Okay,
He's laying
because
groundwork for it now.
well, see, the thing is, I thought I read, and once again, it's the internet, so it has to be true. No, but I thought I read that Steph Curry, his last year is going to be this upcoming year. So I'm like, so he's probably going to Golden State.
That's the rumor as well.
Yeah. So
I'm just thinking if he wants storybook ending, go back to Miami for a year,
yeah.
and then come and finish back in Cleveland.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Steph comes to Cleveland. Technically, it is his hometown team.
Maybe.
They were both born in Akron.
Yeah. That might be as well.
They could just play every game at Akron U.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're from Akron.
Well, the Browns are no longer going to be in Cleveland. So
That's
why
true.
do the Cavs have to be?
Yeah, no, let's just take every major sports team out. Oh, my gosh. No, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's take every major sports team out. I hear Justin Bibbs' ears perking up. And he's like, huh? And I go, and let's just make it all walkable. Let's turn the Innerbelt Bridge into a parking lot, and we'll have a little tram. It'll be like a little trolley from Mr. Rogers, and it'll ding, 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 and it'll just play the song on repeat. And we'll all sit in the trolley, and we'll all sit there and go, wee, when we go down the hill, and Justin Bibb can stand there, and he can go, we have a complete walkable city now. Isn't this a beautiful thing? And everybody will cheer.
We could turn the arena into apartments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then we can let the baseball team, we can let the Guardians go to Nashville, where they're going to end up within the next 10 years. And then, no, you know what? We'll keep the Guardians downtown.
Oh, yeah, because they got to guard the city.
Right, and you just can't you just can't buy tickets. You have to live in the stadium to watch the game. And I don't mean homelessness. I mean converting every section of that stadium into apartments.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
growth.
Your dream walkable city.
I mean, that is.
You don't even have to leave your apartment to.
Yeah, like if I'm thinking of walkable, that's walkable to me.
And tickets are built into your taxes.
That's right. Yeah, tickets.
I mean, they'll jack it up.
Wow. I mean,
1,000-fold.
How else are we going to protect the city of Cleveland besides if we pay 90% tax? And then on top of it, what we could do, we could put flock cameras at every corner. Yeah. Every corner. That way, everyone's safe. Yeah. And don't worry about the lake water. That's all gone.
No.
So now
we got more beachfront property.
Well, we do. Well, majority of the lake, I should say, is gone because luckily we were able to store everything in those new beautiful AI data centers.
Look, think of all the pictures of the lake you'll have.
I know that's.
You could send them to Grandma every day,
and we can remember. We could remember what it looked like, and we could say, "Wow, remember," because we love to remember things. We could just post it on the internet and say, remember when? Not only do I remember when LeBron came back to Cleveland, but I remember when we had a lake. I just summed up about 20 years of Facebook posts right there. Thank you. With your assistance there, Kenny. I mean, my goodness, just the ignorance is bliss. And I'm not even saying that to be mean. I mean, really. But yeah,
we could store pictures of the Constitution. We could store, pictures of air quality.
Can I tell you the best
charts and diagrams of good air?
The best theory that I heard about AI data centers, and I heard it last night, and I went, "Oh, I love some tinfoil hats. I do." AI data centers aren't real.
Oh no!
Stick with me here. It's the entrance to the super. Ultra wealthy rich cities that are undergrounds.
Oh.
And the water is not used to cool off the towers. No. The water is used for the numerous underground cities of the ultra rich.
The wealthy to bathe their feet.
That's right. That's what I once again, like I said, I read it online. The same way LeBron's going to make a decision, the same way that AI data centers are great, although I heard it's the Chinese that are telling us that they're not great. So goofy. We're going to take a break. Thank you for sticking with us through the only way out is through.
I need more tin foil.
That's right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to give you the updates on what's happening with some changes to Ohio's education because it's interesting. Some of the schools are freaking out. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I want to pick Kenny's brain on it because you have kids and they're in the system. So I want to talk to you about that. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on X, Rumble, YouTube. I almost said Twitter. I already said Twitter. I said X. You just search the Jake Underwood Show. So there have been some changes made in Ohio's education when it comes to math in particular. So it was Senate Bill 19. Governor Mike DeWine, he signed Senate Bill 19 into law, creating new statewide requirements aimed at improving math performance and providing additional help for struggling students, which sounds good. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good thing. Kenny, were you a math kid? Were you a math guy?
Yes and no. I was always good at math until I got into high school, and then geometry was rough for me. And then after that, I kind of didn't care as much.
Yeah, I've never been good at math. My
kids are real good at math, especially my son.
The only math I got good at was back timing because I had to, which I'm sure, like, you get the little time app, the little clock app. You can sit there and do everything. So, yeah, I mean, math was never my thing. This is definitely something that look, I took Algebra 1 like twice. I don't know what to tell you. I was always big into.
So you should really know it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's a theory, isn't it? That is a theory. Some of the key changes that have been made are school districts where 51% or fewer students are proficient in math. They must create a math improvement plan.
Good.
All right. Plans must use evidence-based instruction and be submitted to the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce for review.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea. And basically, I mean, there were some quotes here by some of the politicians that put it through. Basically, what they're saying is like, look, math scores are low. We need to make sure that we get, people their one of the people said their God-given potential in mathematics, which I'm like, that's real dramatic, bud. But
yeah,
I mean, you care, which is great. I'm glad that you care. But some of the schools, they're not happy about the changes.
Why? They don't want to actually teach. They don't want accountability for failing our students.
No, and I'm going to tell you, this is the quote. One aspect. They're saying that most politicians won't be picking the curriculum and the resources, and hold on, where's it at here? They don't vet things prior to these mandates, and we believe that significantly changing Ohio's revised code on assumptions that something else will work without proving or without taking a necessary time to investigate is concerning.
Yep.
Yeah. So some of the schools, I mean, they're nervous about it. They don't like it because they want proof that, this is the crazy thing. It's not proof enough that the system that they're doing now doesn't work. They want proof that the new one will work, even though their system now doesn't work.
Well, it's a great thing about starting with math is that you can always check your work. So we can check our work based on the scores that they get after this.
No.
Okay? And we can check our work now based on the scores and the proficiency of the students now.
No. What you have to do, this is what the schools want. The schools want, I bet if we paid more property tax to the schools or if we paid more taxes to the school, that they'd be okay.
That
I'm sure they'd be
helps.
Okay.
Any problem I have, I just throw money at it.
That's right.
There was a fire in the garage. I just threw money at it, and it went out. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We have a text from John. John, he says that he got good at math when he was in sales. It helps when you have to calculate your commissions on the fly to figure out what you made that day. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got better. The thing is, I got better with math when it was real life situations. Like I didn't care about little Susie having 8 groups of apples and 4 of them were
giving them the three friends.
Yeah, like I didn't.
Who cares about?
Yeah,
that?
I didn't care about that.
But that's like anything. I mean, the more you use it in real life situations, the more you're going to retain it.
Right, which is probably what they need to start doing. But it doesn't call for it in this. Let's see some of the mandatory academic intervention. Students who score at the limited state level, they didn't give a definition of the limited state level. In math or English arts, they must receive free intervention services. See, we used to call that tutoring. Yeah, no, that would be that would be really smart. That is included. They said tutoring, additional time with teachers, some expanded school year opportunities, so maybe some tutoring during the summer school, other different options depending on the school districts. The changes are coming to also third grade reading.
Okay, good.
Which makes sense. The bill eliminates mandatory retention of for most third graders who don't meet the state's reading benchmark. Schools will be required to provide intervention. It's so goofy the way these things are worded, to support the students and help them improve. Well, yeah, give them tutoring. I mean, this has to be a state law now?
Apparently. I mean, this is what happens when teachers don't do their jobs. And I guess I'm throwing it on teachers because you're the ones teaching.
Yeah.
And not all teachers, I get it. There are some good ones, but there are a lot of them that just continue to just pass them along, let the next teacher in the next grade deal with it. And then you get high school students who don't know how to read.
Yeah, no, it's really rough. I've just been some of the videos that I watch, what they do, they'll just, they'll be at some random event. Let's say it's like the Super Bowl, World Cup, things like that. And they walk up to someone and it'll say something along the lines of like, I had an extraordinarily extravagant evening. Mm-hmm. And it was all thanks to whatever. And to hear, I mean, it's all races, it's all ages. Where they're going, I had an expendable. And it's like, oh, man. And you could sit there, you could make fun of them, but at the same time, I'm watching this and I'm going, this is sad.
It's very sad.
This is rough, man. At the very least, you got to know how to read. You can make the argument that math, if you just know basic math, you can use a calculator for the difficult stuff. But reading,
once you know how to read, you can learn anything.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah.
It opens the door to the entire world once you learn how to read. And don't think this isn't done by design. I'm pretty sure this is done by design.
You know what? Dumb
down the American children, because then you get dumb American adults.
Well, the thing is, I don't know that it's done by design as much as it was done because they're sitting there and they kept going with convenience, and it ends up being that, you're just carrying around a laptop. You no longer have to read the book. The laptop will read it to you.
Yeah, but look
the software can read it to you.
I mean, just from when we were kids,
it's
gotten.
Yeah, no, it's completely different.
And in the last 20 years, those children 20 years ago who were just fed through the grades, passed on to the next one, the next one, now they're at voting age. Now they're the DSA.
Well, yeah, but also a lot of them are Republicans. But it's just,
are there really that many Republicans out
absolutely
there that
there are.
Read?
Well, not they can't read, but I mean, what is it? Is it the education system or is it the student? Because what you're saying now, we're putting it on the student.
Well, it's both.
Yeah,
it's both. But it's the education. It's the education system that needs to be held accountable for the students now.
Oh, 100. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it falls back on the people that are involved in it. I just think with education in general, and the whole reason this was introduced as a bill is they saw the declining math proficiency statewide. Recent state testing showed that there is a big drop in math. In fact, it was at the lowest achievement level in math, prompting the people to go like, "Hey, we gotta step in here."
And where are the standards at now too? Because they've been lowering standards for years.
And that's a big thing too. I think two of the major mistakes that have been made with education is they rely way too much on technology. Way too much. I don't know. I think it's crazy that there's really no such thing as textbooks anymore.
No, it's all
it doesn't make sense. And then as you said, the standard keeps getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And I'm not saying that all teachers are bad or anything, because that's not true. I was lucky enough to have some great teachers.
Same
I
here.
did. I had some really good teachers, and I know that they're still teaching. So I know that, it's that they're getting that quality education. But it's rough because you see it. I mean, it's that stare that you get when you hand somebody a 20 and it ends up being, $15.50 and they're doing the it's like, come on, buddy.
Yeah, this is easy.
Yeah, like, you got this. It's okay. You can do it, I promise.
4 bills and
right?
2 quarters.
Right.
You got this.
You're doing all right. It's okay. Thank you. Yes. All right. Yeah. You have a great day. And you walk away, you're going, whoa, what are we doing?
Can't believe she gave me $30.
Yeah, right? But yeah, I mean, we just got to teach basic math and basic things. But, I mean, this is a step in the right direction. But ultimately, you have to hold things accountable. You know, that's one of the reasons why fraud ran rampant the way that it did. We have to take a break. We'll continue to talk about this when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, and YouTube. We're talking about how the state of Ohio, they're like, you know what? We notice math scores are not proficient. What did it say, 51%? Is that what no, not in total, but there are some districts where 51% or more students are not proficient in math. That's not good.
That's crazy.
That's not good. So I have a very I thought about this during the break, and to the point I wrote it down. Put it down on the piece of paper here because I wanted to make sure I said this. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I feel like when I was younger, if there was a state program, there were follow-ups. Mm-hmm. Why is that not the case anymore? And you can't tell me that it is the case because we're seeing the fraud go crazy. We're seeing that math skills and reading skills and science and all these other things that's just getting worse and worse and worse. Why is there no accountability for the government? No, but this is why I'm confused. Because I keep hearing that this is a red state. And the GOP's been in charge for quite some time. And we see what happens in Minnesota. Everything just runs amok. Everything's crazy. And we go, and I hear, oh, well, that's the Dems. So what's going on here in Ohio?
Ohio GOP's been infiltrated. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point now. There's got to be a reset.
Yeah,
there's got to be a reset with this GOP. This is wild, and I'm not saying everybody involved is bad.
No,
not the case at all. But I mean, based on everything we spoke about yesterday, and then now we're seeing it all over the place. And I'll be honest, I'm confused. I don't get it. I really don't understand. Because I know the answer everybody wants to hear is, well, we're going to doge it. I hope so.
Yeah.
But great. Are they actually going to do it? Because we said that we were going to doge the federal government. And there was a long list of all the things that need to be taken care of. And Congress went, wow, that's a long list. Thanks for doing that work. You going to vote on it? No. Why would we do that? No, but thank you for all that work. And ironically enough, we wasted tax dollars with Doge and Doge itself. I mean, I'm pretty sure that department of government that was put there under it was Barack Obama who did it.
Was it really?
It was Barack Obama who did it, and then it just became more and more popular because Elon Musk is like, hey, we got this department, why aren't we using it? Mm-hmm. And then that's when everything started rolling and went along with it. So, like it's. How is the state of Ohio? Because I can't speak for Minnesota, I can't speak for California, I can't do it. But how is the state of Ohio not following up on these things? Because I run into because I like talking to people, especially the people who don't necessarily align with me, and there are the things that they bring up, and I'm going, I got nothing, and this is one of them. They're like, how do you explain that education's gotten worse? How do you explain that fraud is running rampant? And I'll ask them, I go, now, are you going to sit here and say that it wouldn't be like that under Democrats? Because we could see it in other states. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, some of them go, absolutely, I'm saying that. And then I go, all right, take a breath. But there are those people that go, no, I think it would be the same way. But that tells me that it's the same thing then. And I'm like, oh.
Well, then you fall into uniparty. You fall into
that kind of seems where we're at. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. That's where we're at, and it seems to be the way that way at the federal level. And look, you see, you say, well, yeah, but there are a lot of people who don't think that way. There are a lot of people who believe that, and once again, this is not an indictment on everyone. It's not, because you do have those people like people might be mad. I don't care. Thomas Massey's one of those people that went, this is what I believe in. We shouldn't be spending more. We've seen Max Miller step up, Anna Paulina Luna step up about these certain things. Now they vote for some things that are a little goofy. Everybody does. Mm-hmm. But we see that where when they kind of step back, I mean, I mean, really think about this. Like, what has Mike Johnson done?
Off the top of my head, I can't.
Is this thing on? like what has Mike Johnson done? Besides, I mean, he's really good at talking about what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And there's the majority. Thomas Massey always says it. He goes, how are we going to sit here and talk about election fraud when we have the president, we have the majority in the House, we have the majority in the Senate, and you can argue we have the majority in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So how are we going to argue? Like, what are we talking about here? Why aren't we getting things done? And, you know, at first you're like, well, what is he talking about? And then you think about it and you're like, there's a lot of things that need to be done. You know, like Doge. Doge was one of the major things. Kenny, I know you're a big Doge guy.
Yeah.
You were all about Doge.
I love Doge. I think we should Doge every city in the country.
I think we can do self-sufficient Doging. And the way that you do that is by following up with things. You know, when we look at this fraud, it's really as simple as, okay, Mr. Johnson, whatever the last name would be. Okay, yeah, you're going to go ahead and open up this daycare center. All right. And where's the location? Okay, that sounds great. All right, we're going to have somebody follow up within the next 3 to 6 months and every 3 to 6 months after that. Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's all you got to do.
They would have figured it out. They would have been able to find all of this stuff. So instead, I mean, what are we doing? Are we just sitting here? We're just sitting on our hands? Like, I don't understand, because I'll tell you what, my bosses follow up with me. Kenny, your bosses follow up with you. Mm-hmm. The people that give us money follow up with us because they expect a job to be done. When they're taking government grants for things, that means that they expect a job to be done. In a way, you're kind of working for the government. In a way, because they're giving you money to do a task. So there needs to be a follow-up here. I mean, I know that we want to believe that, you know, one party is bigger and better than the other, but on some things I see the proof. Here in the state of Ohio, I'm not seeing the proof. I'm not seeing it. And I'm watching it just all go the same way. And then, you know, what are we doing? We're sitting here screaming at each other because one person wants to vote for this per one, but they both had the same ideas during COVID, which is really what this is coming down to. Well, this is crazy.
It's like I said, it's kind of along the lines of a uniparty. When was the last time anyone accused Mike DeWine of being a conservative? I mean,
yeah.
I can't remember a time. I don't know.
My mind, when I realized with the op-ed yesterday when we were talking about Vivek, how he wrote that op-ed saying that he was advising Lieutenant Governor Husted on what to do during COVID. And then, you know, they want us to attack Amy Acton. It's like, both of you were saying the same thing. So, like, what are we voting for here? What, one might charge less in taxes? They're gonna pick it up somewhere else.
That's what we're hoping for,
right?
At this point,
is that really where we're at with the political parties? Well, maybe maybe they'll lower the taxes a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
which one's got a better shot of actually lowering taxes? I mean, that's where we're at. And
then either way, I mean, to be fair, I don't know much about Amy Acton's stance on the AI data centers. I think she's against them, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I'd have to look into that.
I haven't seen anything either way, and I'm not making that assumption.
Yeah, I don't want to make an assumption. But I mean, is that really what it is? Because the flock camera stuff, I mean, it's really weird because when you talk to voters, I'd say it's 60-40 Republicans against the flock cameras. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you look at the other side, I'd say it's even higher than that, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, even Republicans, I think it's probably higher.
Yeah, you think so?
Probably at least 70.
All right.
Nobody likes a surveillance state.
Yeah, but you do have those people that like it because they fall back on, but I want to be safe. Kenny, that's the perfect reaction. I hear that a lot when I go, but it's cameras everywhere. Yeah, but don't you want to be safe? Oh. Excuse me? Do you know the way this works? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming to the realization that there's got to be something's got to be done because we're just watching everything. We could say that it's all moving one direction, left or right. Nah, it's just all coming together, and it's like Play-Doh. You know, when you mix all the Play-Dohs together, what do you get? This weird, nasty looking
brown,
That's what it's looking like right now. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to talk about this. If you want to chime in, feel free to do so. The number's 216-901-0945. Also, text in. I got some text I need to catch up on. That number's 866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM. Or you can watch us. We're on X, Rumble, and YouTube. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. We started off talking about some changes that are being made to education, and it clicked for me. I guess I want to know why state programs, why there are no follow-ups. And then that led to me going, well, we're having the same problems here in Ohio that they're having up in Minnesota. And all I hear is that in Minnesota, it's because of the Dems. Those damn dirty Dems. But we're having the same problems here in Ohio. So what does that mean? Because I've heard for the last 10 years that Ohio is red. And it's the reddest red. And it's the most red. And a lot of people, they don't realize how red it is, but it's so red. So the fact that we're having the same problems as a Democrat state tells me that we're not red. We're not that red.
It's really purple with a tinge of red.
Like it's red every 4 years. That's the best way to say it. At least that's how it's been for the last Well, no, it'd be more. Yeah. It's
red on Halloween.
Yes, it's red on Halloween. Well said.
they put on the costume for November.
Right. And so, I just it almost seems like, and I'm not trying to take shots at anyone. I'm just saying it seems like there needs to be a reset here. There needs to be a reset of just the way that things are going. Someone texted in and said it's the snowball effect. We see the GOP botching so many opportunities, and then they start not to care, and then they don't vote when the time comes. A serious wake-up call is badly needed. See, and that's from down in Lakewood. Thank you, Don. I see he's talking about it from the voter standpoint. I think it's all of the above. Mm-hmm. I think the issue is that the party hasn't given Ohio voters a reason to go out except for when Donald Trump is running for president. And there's a serious disconnect happening here. And here's the thing, it's not going to take just one person screaming that we're going to make Ohio MAGA. It takes so much more than that. And to believe that, you're going to have the people with the savior complex that they believe that they could be the only ones to do it. It's not how it works. It's not how any of this works, like that old commercial. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. But honestly, though, that's not how this works, because you have to find the people. Look, it's really easy. And we spoke about it with Max Miller yesterday, and when we spoke about Vivek, with a party messaging. That's what all this is going to come down to. They're going to sit there and they're going to go, all right, what's the party messaging this go around? Okay, all right. So it's not it's not the messaging, it's whether or not they're actually going to follow it. Are they following it? Have they been? I'm just asking. Like I said, I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing. Are they actually following that message? Because I think for the GOP to really grab people, look, you could say what you want about the Democratic Socialists or just the Democrats themselves. They have things that people feel they can hold on to. We could sit here and we could be mad that people are going that way. When was the last time you heard a Republican talk about housing and how it's a problem? It's been a while. When was the last time you heard a Republican that holds power say, I know people are struggling with groceries? It's been a while. So when you can't even connect at the most simple level, whether it's gas prices, because if you recall, we've talked about gas prices here. People went as far to tell me you need to make a sacrifice like they did in World War II. Mm-hmm. They compared the Iran conflict to World War II. So if we can't even connect on that level with people, where they're going, hey, gas prices are high, this is rough, how do you expect them to have that connection going into November? They're not going to. And you're going to continue to see more moderate people run as Republicans. And that's why spending has gone up. That's why the debt has gone up as quickly as it has. And that's why, and I asked Jim Renacci, I ask a lot of people this, when did the Republican Party become the party of former Democrats? When did it stop being Republican?
When they gave up their party to the socialists.
But even before that, Kenny, because and listen, as much as I love Donald Trump and I voted for him 3 times, mm-hmm. He's a former Democrat.
Yeah.
A lot of the policies that he has, they are very Democrat.
I know, which is crazy why he gets so much flack from the left.
And well, And then you look at Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy, former Democrat.
Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat.
To be fair with Bobby, he's more libertarian. But the point is still there. We really don't have actual Republicans anymore. And the ones that we do have that talk about, hey, debt needs to be a top issue, they get laughed at or they get forced out. And I'm not just talking about Thomas Massey. There are others that joined that list over the last, 10, 15 years that it seems like the Republican Party has become the Democrats. Those moderate Democrats are now Republican. And then the Democrat Party, you got the kooky ones that are getting all the attention, but even the Democrats are still kind of there too. So where you had one on the right and one on the left, now they're just kind of the same thing.
It's been that way for a while. We've called it the uniparty for how long? How many rhinos can you have in a party before that is your party? We have to expel the rhinos. We need more conservatives in the Republican Party.
But they don't have a place in this Republican Party.
It's part of leadership. Leadership is, and it could be state leadership, whatever the party leadership is allowing this to happen.
Well, it comes down. That's the party messaging.
No, the messaging for the most part is okay. It's just the follow through. They're not following through on the messaging. The messaging sounds good. It always sounds good.
It always sounds really good.
It always sounds good. And we've been voting for what sounds good for decades now, and you see where we're at.
Yeah,
it sucks because the other side's even worse.
What's funny is, and I know they reported on it yesterday, a lot of people like 40 and under, the two people among conservatives that are like the top two guys that they like are Nixon and Reagan.
Which is awesome.
Those are the top two guys. I mean, in fact, like they look at President Trump and they're going, "You're not conservative enough."
Mm-hmm. That's good. Good.
I think there are a lot of people that are feeling that way. I think the problem is we have a lot of copycats that are trying to be like Donald Trump. They get on the microphone, they say some outlandish things, and they expect memes. They expect social media followings to win them an election, and there's really no substance to it. Now, I will say this. Donald Trump did the groundwork. Donald Trump was out there. He was doing the rallies. He had the name recognition. He didn't necessarily have to go to the rallies and hold those and different things, but he did. So he put in the work. In no way am I knocking Trump here. I'm knocking the copycats that are doing that are putting in the half-assed effort because they think because they have, this many Instagram followers or, if I put this messaging out, this will work great. And it's just digging us deeper and deeper because we don't have that balance. We need that balance. So listen, we could be upset with the Democratic Socialists and all those things. We could be upset with that, but we allowed it to happen because we can talk about how outlandish they are. Let's look in our own backyard and watch how we let our party drift closer and closer and closer to that center, and we weren't holding our morals and our values up. We weren't electing people that held our values. Things like making sure that the middle class is the middle class, making sure that they have opportunities. We watched all these jobs leave. We watched all these opportunities go. We've watched schools get worse. We've seen government spend more and more. We've seen more and more debt. $115,000 per person. A baby is born. If we were to all pay off the debt, that baby, that infant, that newborn would already be $115,000 in debt. The spending has gotten out of control. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about this. Also, we have Jim Renacci at 10:35. We'll be back right after this.
matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the Jake Underwood Show. It is Tuesday. It is July 21st, 2026. What a beautiful year. 2026 in the greatest Cleveland area. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glass, is one Mr. Kenny Kidd. Good morning, Kenny.
Hi.
I do have an announcement about,
Oh.
because it sounds like it's a for sure thing. I didn't want to get people's hopes up, but Seth Williams
Yes.
is back tomorrow.
That's the rumor.
Yes, Seth Williams is back tomorrow. So we're going to catch up with him, talk to him about his journey, what's been going on with him, and yeah.
Nice.
So we'll, that's happening right now. If anything changes, we'll let you know. Like I said, I didn't want to say something and things switch up and change up. Last thing I want to do is put pressure on him. But yeah, I'm excited. He'll be back tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be cool to have him back. Right now, what we're doing is we're talking about the GOP, and we're talking about how. We could sit here and we could talk about rhinos and it's fun. We could say, the little nicknames and knick-knack, paddywhack, and, talk about all of that. But ultimately, what's happened is the GOP, it's lost its messaging. It's lost its, how do I want to say this? It's lost what it's standing on. And we're just watching more and more where old-fashioned, those old school, old-fashioned minded conservatives, the people that don't, that are worried about the debt, that are worried about the middle class, say what you want, but right now neither party's really looking out for the middle class, and they haven't for a while, and we're watching it smaller, and smaller, and smaller, to the point, now when you get a political survey, it says, what are you? Are you lower class, middle class, working class, high class?
I got high class.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
But it's completely restructuring the class system. I'm sorry, wasn't the middle class the working class forever?
It was, yeah.
And isn't that who we were supposed to invest in? If they put as much money as they are into AI data centers and all these different things, war, whatever it might be, if they put some of that money, I'm not even saying all of it, put a percentage of it into the middle class, you would start to see things get a lot better. And what do I mean when I say middle class? Because that's really easy to say. Like, I would actually put it into, excuse me, still no cough button, categories. and what categories would those be? It would be making sure they have the opportunity to own a home. That's a really big one. Because what does that do? Well, it does a few things. When somebody's able to own a home or they're on their way to owning a home in an area, they're going to care about that area. They're going to want to make sure that the streets are clean, that crime is down, that area is as successful as it could be. Then on top of it, let's say you own the home, it's almost paid off, and you're going, you know what? I think I want to start a business. You can then take a loan out against that home. Mm-hmm. You have equity. You actually have things that will help you build up and invest back in to that area even more. So not only do you own a home, now you might own a business. Or you buy stake in a business and you have part ownership of that business, but it goes right back into the area. We're not seeing that. And that's something when you go back and look at the 50s. I mean, look at the bowling alleys. Look at the different little businesses that were started up in the 40s and 50s because they had the opportunity to do that. A lot of which we use today. The one that pops into my mind, McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's how McDonald's started. It was two brothers that went, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? Let's give it a shot.
But going back to owning a home, I mean, you look at your street, look at your neighbor's streets. You could tell which houses are being rented and which ones are owned.
Yeah,
because they don't take care of the yard like they would if they owned it.
Yeah,
just right straight from the street view, you can tell which ones are rented, and that's the way I want to say that huge they out there,
right?
But that's how they want it. They don't want you. I mean, you'll own nothing and like it. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what as the GOP's they've got to grab the reins and fight against that. And they haven't. And they haven't embraced it either. That's the weirdest thing about it. Neither party's really embraced that. You've had it's almost as if some of the policies, like we could talk about Mondani up in New York. Yeah, he's embraced that. Is he an outlier though? Because we see more Democratic Socialists popping up. And I know I talk about it quite a bit. I think it's ridiculous that they have as much popularity as they do, but they have the popularity because it is that outlier. So,
and the only reason why this is happening is because the Democrat Party has no backbone and refuses to fight against the extremists in their party.
Right. No, and you know what? And that's fair. That is fair to say.
And because they're doing that, they're losing a lot of moderate Democrats, which are coming over to us and infiltrating us.
So that's why, I mean, conservatives have to kind of take the party back. And we just have to. We have to stop with the establishment person. I mean, that's what we've been, and it's just really we're seeing the direction it's taking us. Let's go to TJ. TJ, you're in the air.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched that last night, but Brian Kilmeade had a special about AI, on Fox Cable, and they're showing in Texas they built this big data center. They're using a closed-loop system, so no water's being released, so they're not polluting anything. They built their own power plant, so not only did it not raise the electrical rates, but the extra power they generate, they're putting back on the grid, a plus. Now, Texas gets it, okay? Your Governor Hochul, that you wanted to take her advice and put a moratorium on this for a year, that's no rocket scientist, and she don't get it. And I'm hoping that Ohio gets it before it's too late. And Kilmeade was showing that we were leading, big lead in AI, and China has pulled up almost even with us. And at the rate we're going, they're going to surpass us big time. Because while we're talking negative about AI and data centers, they're building them by the hundreds.
So TJ, would you rather?
The writing's on the wall.
So TJ, would you rather China give up farmland and their clean water, or would you rather us do it?
Look, I told you about the clean water. It's called the closed-loop system.
And that's 100% that's going to work every time?
Well, yeah, they use the same water. It's like they do on a space shuttle. They just keep reusing the same water. They filter it, and they reuse it. And it's the same kind of concept. They filter it. They put it back in. They're not releasing it into the waterways. That's why they call it a closed-loop system.
Right. What about evaporation?
Well, these are closed systems. Do you have evaporation in your
you have it in your pool.
In your radiator?
Well, but you have it in your pool. Isn't a pool kind of a closed system? It all works within itself. You have to fill up the pool,
no,
don't you?
It's out in the open. You have evaporation. When you're running water through pipelines and stuff, you don't have any evaporation.
But it's extremely hot. So you're gonna have that steam. So how do you replace that water?
Well, no, it's just like your radiator in your car. That water gets really hot, right? And what do? They run it through your radiator, they cool it down, and they recycle. It's recycled over and over and over. It doesn't evaporate. The only place it goes if you spring a leak in the system and you lose it. But it's the same kind of concept, but on a bigger level.
TJ, we got it. We're up against it. We got to go to break, but thank you for the call. I mean, I'm open to hearing it. I know they're going to have to dump that water eventually. That's the only thing. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to have Jim Renacci after the bottom of the hour break, but right now we have some text messages. And TJ, I was sorry to cut you off there, but we had to go to break. But I understand what you're saying. I do, but you also have to flush a radiator. There are things that you have to flush. If it's a closed loop system, that water has to go somewhere. And on top of it, my issue is with how fast the technology is growing, who knows that you're going to need all of that in 5 years? But
by the time construction's done, it's obsolete.
That's what I'm concerned about. And on top of it, all of a sudden, this is the next arms race. Who the hell? Who gave it that title?
Well, I mean,
because I keep hearing that. How?
I can see the importance of being a leader in AI. I can see the importance of it because if other countries are doing it, think of what they're going to be able to do, and that essentially they can control the world. Essentially, if they can get into any system.
But AI only has the intentions of the people who designed it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so what AI are we going to be using?
We need our own variety. We need you know what I'm saying? But we need our own government AI.
That's even scarier to me.
I know. I'd rather
I'd
rather have the nuclear weapon as a deterrent than to not.
Well, yeah,
you know
but the argument that's being made is no. We have to give the government the most technology possible, so they're more powerful than any other government. Huh?
Yeah,
we don't know what it's capable of. Yeah, but we can trust the government with it. It's okay.
No.
I mean that's what we're doing here.
We still have elected officials though. We still have a say in that. Allegedly, we still have a say in that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do nothing, and we don't keep up with China and AI, like the future doesn't look good.
I find it interesting that we sit here and we talk about how technology, it's causing mental illness because of algorithms. People can't read, they can't do math, they can hardly carry a conversation because of technology and the way that algorithms and AI are. And the argument is, well, we have to do even more with it.
Well, I mean, those are things that you can't overlook. You certainly can't overlook, but we should be taking steps to correct that. It doesn't mean that you throw out the AI systems altogether. You don't throw out technology altogether because there's some bad effects to using it. You figure out the bad effects and you figure out how to lessen those or to eliminate them.
Right.
Like you don't just toss out the technology because if we were to get rid of cars because someone got in an accident, where would we be at?
Well, but we do that with society today.
But that's
what we do.
But that's what we need.
Right.
But that's what we need to be doing. We need to be correcting the problems instead of just throwing it out because there's a problem.
Well, it's going to get to the point that, well, I don't know how to figure this problem out with AI. Let's ask AI how to figure out the problem. You laugh. I was told that. I was told that by a state senator.
I mean,
well, the good thing about AI is if there's a problem, AI can tell you how to fix it. Well, I mean, why should we do anything at all? I mean, you know what? Let's all just sit at home. We'll collect a universal income, and AI can do all the work. And then that way, everyone can pursue their dreams. That's where that's the trail. That's the path that this is leading down. I have some text to catch up on. Donna Lakewood said, Trump going out there every Monday and bragging about how great the stock market is doing. But is fine, but it's starting to not resonate with many GOP voters who really need costs of living to start dropping. The midterms are frankly looking bleak if this trajectory continues. I agree with that. Well said. I agree with that. Someone said, as to the drift to the center by the Republican Party, it's been said that the only two things in the center of the road are yellow lines and roadkill. That's from our friend and brother in Christ from Liberty Valley Church, Dennis Polk. Dennis, thank you. Well said. Somebody wants to know if someone wants to know if Renacci took the mandatory Econ 101 class because he doesn't understand tariffs. I can ask him.
Yeah,
if you
mark
want.
it down. Ask him.
I'll mark it down here.
Questions from the listeners are always welcome.
Did you take an econ class. I mean, he was
101, I think it said,
yes.
Right?
He was very successful in business, but
So
I will ask him that.
That's entry level, right?
Yes,
That's basic.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then talking about neighborhoods and how you could tell if somebody owns their house or renting. You said you could tell by the upkeep.
Typically, yeah.
John Texan said, "Hey, now, I own my home and my kids keep wrecking the yard and rednecking it up over here. I have everything but an old AMC Pacer and a Ford tractor rusting out in the front."
Well, get on it, man. What are you doing?
Listen, if you cut your grass, you might find one. No. But I mean, I want to go back to two text messages really, but it's funny the one from Dennis Polk where he said, as you drift to the center, the only two things are yellow lines and roadkill. Geraldo Rivera, take a breath. I know. I was a phone screener for him, and I would go out and look at stories and stuff like that. I think the official title was associate producer or assistant. I don't know. It was something goofy like that. It looked good on a resume. But I was call screener, and I would go look at stuff, right? He used to say that, and to the point that his podcast, because he would call out everyone involved in everything, because that's just what he did. He was Geraldo. Well, he is Geraldo. He's still alive, but and his podcast was called Roadkill with Geraldo Rivera. And he would talk. He's like, because when you call out both sides, you're stuck in the middle of the road. And so when he said that, that's what I thought of. And I mean, if you remember, he and Trump were buddies. And then he started calling Trump out on stuff. And man, people ripped into him like crazy. But I thought of Geraldo when you said that. But to the point that Don made, when Trump is out there and he's talking about, the stocks are up and the market's up. I mean, look at the beating Pam Bondi took.
Wow. I mean,
during the hearings when she goes, the market's above 50,000 points.
That was neither the place nor the time for that.
Right,
That's why she got the beating.
Correct. But I mean, it's to the point now, if anything's brought up, you'll hear it. And I hear it a lot, actually. People will go, I'm sorry, are we allowed to talk about that? Where's the market at? Are we allowed to talk about that, Carly?
Yeah.
But what it did was it showed what the priorities are. And maybe that's not the case, but it definitely showed that that is the mindset of some people in the administration. And I'll tell you, I think that, and the reason why it has the lasting impression that it does is because they're going, man, are these people just trying to get as much as they can before they're out? I mean, that's how that came off.
I think it's just a little tone deaf. To where they think that that's more important to more people than it really is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the market is important it's a lot of people.
Yeah, know what they should do?
A lot of people don't even realize how important it is to them because they don't look at their 401ks all the time. They don't look at their retirement plans all the time. So they don't don't necessarily realize how important that really is to them.
Yeah.
But it's the everyday costs that really resonate with everyone.
Well, and that's what they're seeing. And that's what, look, there are a lot of people who don't have 401ks. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of people who don't care. And if you got one, great. Mm-hmm. But to the people who don't, they're going to care about, whether that $200 worth of groceries looks like it was, 5 years ago when it looked a lot more than it does now.
When it filled your cart.
When it filled your cart.
The bottom of it.
Instead of, going and getting a pound of salami and it's $12. $12 for a pound of salami, or a pound of ham's $11, and you get a loaf of bread, you're walking out of there spending close to $30. Excuse me? That was supposed to be the cheap part.
Making your own lunch brown bag in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, it still is because everything else went up as well.
No, it's there has to be. I mean, at some point, someone's got to realize, this is getting. Like we got to start looking at this from the point of view of the middle class, of the working class, of those people. We have to start looking at it from that point of view.
And that's where I think we have been. I think it got so bad that this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of plateauing right now and hopefully making our way down.
Well,
look, this administration walked into a mess.
Right, and
no one can deny that.
We started seeing the little bit of the break in it, and then Iran started. So yes. I hope it is the plateau. I don't think it is.
We'll see.
I don't. And I hope that that's not the case. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to catch up with former Congressman Jim Renacci, and I will ask him if he's taken Econ 101. As I said, he was very successful in business, so I'm assuming he has, but we will get that answer right here on AM 1420. The Answer. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. Or you can watch us on Rumble. We're on X. We're on YouTube. When you search the Jake Underwood Show. And so far this morning, we've talked about the... trying to think how to put it. I guess I would say the I don't want to say the dismantling because it's not, but I mean, we need a hard reset on the GOP. I mean, especially here in Ohio. Seems to be the way that it's going. And it just based on what we talked about yesterday and then today and just the different things that are being thrown around and just, my mindset is we're going to need a reset. It's just the way that it's gonna work, and it's gonna work best. And joining us now on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline, he joins us every Tuesday. Of course, we're talking about former Congressman Jim Renacci. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Jake. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
So I gotta ask you because the texters, you know how the texters could be here. They asked the question because they don't necessarily agree with how you feel about the tariffs. So one asked, they wanted me to ask you if you ever studied trade theory beyond Econ 101.
Yeah, what's interesting is not only did we study trade theory, we did, especially when I was in Washington, D.C., we had hearings after hearings after hearings about economics and tariffs and why they don't work and what their problems are. And quite frankly, Republicans fought those. People forget Paul Ryan tried to implement a tariff on every import coming into the United States. And at that time, probably the texter and everybody else were anti-Paul Ryan and said, we got to stop this. And the House of Representatives actually did stop it, even though Paul Ryan was the speaker and wanted it done. So it just shows you the theory behind it. But there was an interesting hearing one time when we talked about tariffs where I was able to ask 5 major CFOs of major companies, everybody from Walmart, you name them, Target. And I just asked a question, simple question, will tariffs cause you to increase spending or increase costs and raise prices as a consumer? And they kind of squirmed around, Jake, but I said, no, yes or no question, and they all said yes. I said, fine, you've answered the question. So absolutely, there's been a lot of studying on the effects of tariffs, and quite frankly, we're seeing it right now. Or the reason why we have inflation, I think it's about anywhere between $800 to $1,800 of costs being passed on to the American consumer as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up that hearing because now, now I want to hear. Now I'm gonna have to watch that. Just as you said it, I made note of it. I gotta ask you because we've kind of talked about it yesterday. I don't know if you heard the show, but I was talking about the Vivek campaign and just the way that it's going. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Jim. I think if the election was today, Vivek doesn't win. I think that there's just that connection with the Ohio voter missing. I think he's done a great job getting the GOP vote. I don't know that he's done a good enough job getting the independent vote, and I wanted to pick your brain on that a little bit.
Well, look, if the election was today, there's going to be a lot of Republicans losing, and that's the problem. They got a few months now. And by the way, I'm a Republican through and through. Mm-hmm. I support the party. But let's face it, I mean, the war is causing problems for Republicans. I just saw, I know a lot of your listeners don't like polls, but I think it's down to like 21% approval rating. And now you've got 67% of independents who lean Republican who do not support the war. So you have a lot of people who are not happy with the war, and that's causing problems for Republicans, and it's going to cause problems for Vivek, along with the idea that there are so many issues that are the economy, grocery prices, all this stuff. And even though Vivek can't fix a lot of those things, he certainly isn't talking about them either, and I think that's the problem. You know, the socialist, communist, Democrat that we talk about that's rising, there's a big reason why they're rising, not because America supports them. I don't support them. You don't support them. But I got to tell you, those people that can't pay their bills, they at least think they're listening to them, and that's why they're getting this support. We have lost touch with the basic American people that are barely making ends meet day to day.
You know, I took a political survey the other day. I still get them sent to me. And it asked me, what class am I a part of? And it said upper class, working class, middle class, lower class. And that's the first time I've ever seen a division and two separate categories for working class and middle class. I mean, have we gotten to the point that the middle class, it's starting to just get lower and lower and lower? Because my understanding, and if I'm wrong, please correct me here, but this country goes as far as the middle class is going to go.
Well, you're exactly right. And look, I have three family members, three children, and one of them says that she thought she was in the middle class, but now she is in the lower middle class. So it's interesting to say that because, you know, her and her husband can barely make ends meet, and they make good salaries. So that used to be middle class, and now they're struggling for rent, car payments, all these things. And I think that's important that we start to look. The middle class is starting, but look, even the middle class, some people, I don't even know where that cutoff would be. All I know is when I talk to people, they are struggling to pay bills. And they always come up to me and say, Renacci, when is your party going to start thinking about us? And that's the real question out there. When are they going? We got to quit, you know, Iran. And I'll see so many people say, "Oh, well, Iran's something we have to do." Wow, when you think of priorities, don't we think that America and the working class and wages and costs and all these things, that's something we have to do. That's a priority.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, because when it comes to Iran, and we hear it a lot, where if they had the nuclear weapon, and you know, we've seen with the way that they're bombing people in that area, and didn't we need to step in to make sure that it didn't escalate?
I don't know if the time was right. Look, Tulsi Gabbard came out and said that they weren't close to a nuclear weapon. I think that's one of the reasons why she's not in the cabinet anymore. Her number one in command said the same thing. Did we step in to eliminate a nuclear weapon? Possibly. I think we stepped in to help Israel more than anyone. And let's face it, we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. No one wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. But at the same time, going in has consequences. And look at what Iran is doing now. Not only the Strait of Hormuz, now they're going after the other strait and trying to close it down, which, again, they're smart enough people. They've been in battles. They've lasted in wars for 18 years. The Iran-Iraq war went on for 18 years. These people are war people. They will fight until the end. And if you just total level the country, which if you talk to the generals, listen to the generals, there were some generals on some TV shows this morning that said leveling Iran is never going to be an option for President Trump. He can talk about it. You know, the MAGA people can talk about it. It's never going to be an option because if they level Iran towards nothing, it will cause global economic disaster. And that's why they won't do it. It'd be easy. President Trump could just do that today.
Right.
Not going to happen because he knows that the economic disaster to our complete economy, worldwide economy, will be so devastating that the United States will be affected too.
I want to switch it up a little bit because you recently wrote, President Trump came out last week and he spoke about election integrity and talked about the stuff that happened with the findings that they found with China interfering with things and just, we've heard the rumors about Russia, all these different things. And you recently wrote about election integrity, and you said there's no such thing as a perfect election system, because every system has its strengths and weaknesses. You have a lot of people that will say, you know what? We need to go back to how it was. We need to have paper ballots. This is the way to do it. We'll find it all out, in one night, if not the next morning. What do you say to the people that are talking about how they want to go back to paper ballots?
Well, they should go back in history and see that paper ballots even had fraud. Can you imagine piling up a bunch of paper ballots in an election office? What's the chance of somebody throwing one away, tossing a bunch out? I mean, paper ballots are already a problem, but let's face it, in Ohio, we do have a paper ballot. We vote with a machine. It gives you the paper ballot. You take the paper ballot. Now, this isn't every county, but I know in Medina County and I think the majority of counties, you take that paper ballot, you run it through a counter. The counter is not connected to the Internet, although some people claim it is. It's not. And then that counter is checked. It's a perfect solution. The only difference is you could take your paper ballot and hand it to somebody. Think about that, Jake. Okay, I'm going to hand it to you. Who are you, by the way? Well, I'm the representative that holds them. Okay. Well, maybe you don't like my vote. What are you going to do with it? I mean, you see how there's so much opportunity that no system is perfect. Now, what I am trying to talk about, though, is you want to fix the system. It's the old garbage in, garbage out. If you fix the way you register and you have all the support, like, you know, whether it's a birth certificate, I'm all for that. Proof of citizenship, everything. You can't register until you have all of that. I think then, I'm not sure it matters how much, as long as we have enough secure situations inside the ability to count the votes. I'm not sure whether it's paper or not really matters, but I don't know. Just think of it. You and me counting paper ballots. We got 3 million ballots here. Let's go, Jake. How are we going to count them?
Yeah, no, that's gonna. Yeah, I don't know how well that's gonna go. I'll be honest with you. Plus, don't leave a window open because we might have to find some under the fridge in 2 years from now. I agree with you. In fact, I when the SAVE Act and everything that was announced with it, I said it didn't go far enough, in the sense of we should make people re-register. If we want it to be as secure as everybody's saying they want it to be, it might be a little minor inconvenience for you to have to go re-register, but give them 2 years. Let's not give them a month or 3 months. Give them 2 years to go re-register, make sure that they're good to go. Have people from the local board of elections, go to different libraries, different areas, get them registered, meet them where they are, to make sure that they're ready to go. And then that's how we truly get secure. I don't think the SAVE Act went far enough if you actually want to secure it, because it was strange. It's like, well, from this point on, I guess we'll be okay. Well, maybe 5 years from now is when really it's going to be more secure. Right now we're not, but it's going to be okay because it can be better. And I did not understand, and I don't know how they didn't come up with a better piece of legislation.
Well, let's face it, I 100% agree with you. I think the SAVE Act needs to be put in place, but it needs to have a time, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, to be implemented. There needs to be dollars, which I hate to say because I so much worry about our debt and deficits. But if you're going to force everybody to re-register, which is not a bad idea, have the birth certificate, have everything, you're going to have to set up a new system, at least temporarily, maybe for a year, so that the states can implement this, have the people at the library, have the people like you're talking about. I mean, can you imagine saying, hey, by the way, everybody needs to re-register between now and November 2026. That's going to be another disaster.
Yeah.
Let's just do it and do it right. But the biggest problem we're having with the SAVE Act is the president wants it done now. In many ways, I think because he wants to be able to say, well, now the federal government's going to be overseeing these elections. And let's face it, our founders did not want the federal government involved in these elections. They wanted every state to have, and at that time there weren't 50, but 50 different operations so that it was decentralized. And you don't want a centralized system. If you look at centralized systems in the world, they usually end up with very powerful dictator-type presidents, which is one of the reasons why our founders said, we don't want the same system that England had. We want to change that system.
Right. Jim Renacci, thank you for taking the time out for us. We got to go to break, but thank you for joining us on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Yep, you as well. That, of course, former Congressman Jim Renacci joining us on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline. The SAVE Act. We just got to do it. It's one of those you got to rip the Band-Aid off, but you got to give people enough time. We'll talk about that. And next time, I should have told them, former Congressman, next time bring your transcript. We need to make sure, all of your credits are up to date. We'll talk about what he had to say and more when we return. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us. We're on X, Rumble, and YouTube. A big thank you to former Congressman Jim Renacci for joining the show. Listen, he brought up a different point about the paper ballots. And Kenny and I were kind of talking about it during the break. Here's the main thing. Oh, and real quick, we are going to have an after show today. That, of course, starts at 12:10, 10 minutes after noon. Right there on the Rumble channel. You go there, and we're going to dive into the stuff even more on the Rumble. But yeah, as I said, that starts at 12:10. But he brought up an interesting point about the paper ballots. Now, here's the thing, and we talk about it all the time. We need more poll workers. I'm sure if we had more poll workers, the paper ballot stuff, I don't know that would be as much of an issue when it comes to counting and different things. But right now, we don't have the poll workers. You know, when you walk in there, there's about trying to think when I went to go vote, there were 4 or 5. Could you imagine 4 or 5 counting, 100,000 votes or 50,000 votes, how long that would take? That's a side of it I hadn't thought of. Uh-oh, Kenny.
What? TJ was calling. He's like, want to know if he can get a rebuttal. And I said, well, the Jim rule only counts as if they're taking calls, if we have the guests taking calls. So,
right.
But he did say something about the affordability is that people need to kind of summarize. People need to live in their means, within their means.
Well, yeah.
Don't have a champagne taste if you have a beer budget.
Well, I'll tell you, there are a lot of people with beer budgets that don't have champagne tastes.
No, I know.
They can't even get the beer. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, living within your means only goes so far.
Yeah.
But that's a huge step forward.
Well, yeah, and listen, yeah, and what TJ's saying, he's not wrong. And there are I got friends of mine that do it, and it drives me absolutely nuts. They'll sit there, they'll talk about how they're broke, but they pay $300 for a pair of shoes, and I'm like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, are you actually hello? Is there anything up there? Like, what are you doing? And I see it all the time. Now, with that said, if you have giant feet and the only option are expensive shoes, which I understand, I get it, then yeah, you got to spend some money on shoes. But there are people, no, I got the new Nike Air Max 582 643s. And it's like, that's the dumbest thing. You spend $350 on a pair of shoes you're not going to wear? You're nuts. You're crazy.
And it's always the same person that has the first PS6 or the latest iPhone
Which makes me mad because I want the new PS. No, I want the new gaming system.
I usually wait until at least 2 or 3 years.
That's what I do too.
At least.
Yeah, that's what I do too. But yeah, I mean, and there's a point to be made about that. But at the same time, keep in mind with inflation, living in your means a year ago isn't necessarily living in your means now. Mm-hmm. And you might not have made a change. You might not have.
Or 5-6 years ago, how many people are still making the same amount, if not less, than they did before COVID?
Right. And I mean, and
everything else skyrocketed.
And like I said, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with TJ, and I think there's an aspect to that. But also keep in mind, $50 in gas 4 months ago is completely different than $50 in gas now. Now, if that's all you're spending on gas is $50, are you still living in your means if you have to spend $80 now? Because that's what's going on. My car, $15 usually got me about a quarter and a half of a tank. Mm-hmm. Just barely under a quarter today when I filled up this morning. So I'm still living in my means. I have my budget for gas, but to fill up now, it's going to be an extra 10 to 15, maybe $20. I'm just saying. Like
DoorDash one last day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Well, but that's just it. I don't DoorDash that often.
I'm just saying, look, that's...
But you know what? So give up a meal. And there are a lot of people that have to make that decision. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
National headlines matter, but what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into hour number 3 of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch on Rumble, X, YouTube. I am Jake Underwood, the man behind the glass. This one, Mr. Kenny Kidd. Hello there, Kenny.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Great.
I just had to clear my throat before coming back on air. I don't even sound like a seagull. Is that the best?
I don't know what. I have no idea what that was.
I don't know, but you know what? It worked.
Good.
So whatever it was, it worked. Yeah, it worked. We have some texts coming in. If you missed it, we spoke with Congressman Jim Renacci.
Real quick before
Yes,
you
sir.
get into the text, are we doing an after show today?
We are. Yes.
Okay, because I don't think we've mentioned it all day.
I said it. Watching now, we got a pretty good audience watching right now. So if you're watching now, stay put, and you'll see the after show there, where we dive into this a little bit more. We continue to talk about some of the stuff. Excuse me. Let's see here. Somebody texted and said a greater time to implement provides a duration to curtail electoral integrity achievement. Get it done. Yes. Listen, that's the main thing when it comes to the SAVE Act, because they want it to be in place as soon as possible. That I don't think is going to work out. I think that will be a cluster. That will be, because you're going to have the people that are panicking, they're freaking out, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, well, I have to get it. Oh, now I can't." It's going to turn into mass hysteria, because some people can't even handle, like, when they're staring at what kind of pop to choose at a restaurant, when they're looking at the menu or they're there at the fountain machine. I mean, some people, their minds get blown by how many options there are. I don't think they can handle that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And those are basic everyday people, and that's who you want to vote for the most part, are the basic everyday people. Let's see here. We have another one. This is very funny. It says we could have the high school students count the votes. Oh, wait, they can't count. Yeah, that's for the 216. It's very funny. Let's see here. It says compare today with 50 years ago. People don't have $150 cable bills, a big screen TV in every room. All the kids have a cell phone in their pocket. You get the point. Well, yeah, I do, but at the same time, flip that. You could say, okay, big screen TVs and whatnot, but I don't know that people are not. Well, you know what? If they go out and buy a big screen TV, oddly enough, that's the one thing inflation hasn't hit.
No,
our
those
TVs
are super cheap.
Yeah, and now it's really weird because now all of them come with a camera. So it's really weird. It's almost like it's convenient, but don't worry about it. No, the AI data centers won't store that either. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No, we're fine. We're fine. Everything's good. But, I brought it was ironic. I think we brought it up on the after show last week. Look at somebody who's getting a job right now, right? They need that internet. They need high-speed internet just so they can work. You have to make sure you have a good computer just to make sure you can work. And those are major investments being made just, because, well, it's a remote job and you're going to have to work at home. And if you don't have good internet, well, then you can't work.
And you're lucky if that laptop lasts you 5 years.
5 years. You're lucky if it lasts 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, honestly.
My last one, I think, lasted like 8.
That's a pretty good run.
Which was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good run. But, so there are added expenses onto things. Now, I think, and it's like I said before we went to break, when you look at, when you look at the way that inflation is impacting things, it's going to go up. Like I said, if your budget for gas is, $50 a week, with gas prices going up, that $50 isn't going to go as far. So those are the things, and living within your means and all those different, I understand that. I understand that. But the problem is they printed money out like crazy. So then the money wasn't worth as much. So then inflation goes up even more. And then you add things with tariffs, and then you add the stuff with Iran, and it just, boom, 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 boom. And pretty soon, what used to be $50 in a gas tank now needs to be 60 or 70. Just saying. Plus, don't forget the summer blend of gas. So it's going to go.
Wait. We got hurricane season coming.
That's right.
That's going to increase prices as well.
And hurricane gas, too.
There's always a reason.
Yeah.
Always an excuse.
And something else that was a problem was the Taco Bell gas. Let's go to Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to Jim. He wants to talk about Jim Renacci. Jim, you're in the air.
Yeah, a couple things here about Jim Renacci. He was talking about his kids that can't afford to buy things anymore. I grew up that you couldn't buy things unless you saved your milk money or your paper money or your lawnmower money or any other money that you could figure out and work for. And then there's tariffs things, he didn't tell the other side of the tariffs that all these companies are coming back into the country from Mexico, from China, from Canada. The Canadians are blaming us for our global warming because their forests are burning. Now, how about that one? The expensive coffees, people, there's lines coming out of Dunkin' Donuts and the other coffee places up the street. They live in extravagance. Okay, and then
so hold on, Jim. Jim, is a $5 coffee living extravagantly?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can make coffee at home. You can bring it in a thermos. It's going to cost you pennies. And then this Iran war. We didn't have to go. How long are you going to wait for somebody that we've been kicking the can down the road for 47 years? They've been a menace to the world for probably 100 years.
I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that. No one.
Renacci did?
Well, no, Renacci did. I mean, based on what he said the reason why you could have waited is because you had Tulsi Gabbard and her top advisor say that there were no nukes.
Well, that's fine. But there was other intelligence that said they're 6 days away from having nuclear weapons. So what are you supposed to? Who are you supposed to? That's why she got canned, because she wouldn't go along.
No,
with
Jim, stop. She resigned because her husband was sick. What are we doing?
She didn't get canned.
She didn't get canned. She resigned because her husband was sick.
There are conflicting reports, and I think you can err on the side of caution when you have conflicting reports.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay.
I understand that.
And I'll give you that. But I'm sorry. I know people that go to Starbucks once a week, if that, and they spend money on coffee. So because you see a line, I mean, why are we assuming that everybody who's going to Starbucks is broke? I think the people that go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, they're living pretty well.
They probably are.
So, to just assume.
But if you're not, that's not a good way to get yourself out of a hole.
Yeah, but I don't think. So okay, so let's say hypothetically they go twice a week. So that $10 a week, that's going to make a difference to the point that you could buy a house? No, like this is the disconnect that I'm talking about. What you say? I don't think that's going to make the difference that you could buy a house.
That it could be a factor.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it could be a factor.
Well, let's go to break. We'll talk about it when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420. The Answer. I did some research during the break, and ironically enough, I had some people send me stuff too. So right now, I'm talking right now. I'm not talking 10 years ago. I'm not talking 15 years ago. By all means, if you have yourself established and you got the system and it's working for you, great. I'm talking about the people that are trying to buy a house. I'm talking about the people that are trying to get into something that they can own. Just so people can have that understanding of where they're at, just how much rent is. These are all the averages. So right now, household income per year is right around $120,000 a year, which is pretty good. The estimated take-home pay is right around $7,400 between both of them per, this is both husband and wife working, right? Mm-hmm. With the average of, I believe it's 2 children is what they have here. Rent on average is $2,200. Then you have the car payment, $650. You have the second car payment, right around $550. Right there, you're already over $3,000. You're already over $3,000. Then you have the auto insurance, that's right around $300. Health insurance, it's right around $700. So right there, you're at $4,000. You're not even talking utilities. You're not even talking the internet you need, the cell phones. You're not even talking about that. Right there, you're already at $4,000. So respectfully, when people go, that $10 coffee that you get maybe a few times a week, or, well, it's not even $10 a coffee. Let me rephrase that. That $10 you spend on coffee a week, well, that's just too much. If you stopped buying that coffee, you'd be completely fine. It right now, and this is the average. I'm telling you, this is the average for Americans. This isn't the crazy avocado toast eating people. No, this is the average for Americans. The average shortfall that an American faces per month is $2,000. They are $2,000 short of their bills, of whatever it may be. They're short that every month. That's $24,000 an average American is short a year. So I don't know that saving up your milk money is really going to make the difference with that. We have to put things in context when we're talking about this stuff. And I understand the context of what it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago. We have to look at it of the context of today, because that's where we're living. Those are the people that we have to try to win over in order to make things better. We want them to vote conservative. We want them to vote Republican. Then that's who we have to speak to. Talking down to people, saying, well, it's that $10 coffees. That's what it is. You're spending $10 a week. And if you didn't spend $40 a month on coffee, you'd be a lot closer to that $2,000. Excuse me? That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're blowing that comment out of proportion, because I don't think, now maybe Jim did think that way, and maybe that's why he said it, but I think that's just a factor. I think that's a mindset. I think we need to conserve our money a little more if we want other things. If you
Well, yeah, and I don't disagree with that.
I mean, maybe you're living, the apartment that you're paying for is in too high of an area for you. Maybe you need a smaller apartment. Maybe you need a cheaper apartment to be able to make ends meet, to be able to save some money. Right. Maybe you can maybe you as a family can handle one car, not have a second car payment, not have second insurance, all that extra that goes along with that. I'm not saying it's easy, but our parents have had to do it in the past. Well, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah, but rent back then, when it comes to inflation, I mean, if you followed the rate of inflation,
I know that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, because this needs to be explained. The average rent back then, because we're talking about our parents, it was around $250 to $300. If you followed the same rate, rent should be right around $800. Now it's $2,200. So it's completely blown. Like it's completely different because of the average price and the way that things have soared with inflation. If you want to talk about in 2008 when they were printing money out like crazy, whatever it was, and there's a lot of factors to it that caused the inflation. It's not even that prices doubled or tripled. I mean, look at the average prices of homes. Let's go from 1970. 1970, a house that would have been right around $40,000 is anywhere up to $400,000 to $500,000 now, and the house is older. It's older now. So to sit here and just take that mindset and not remember the context of it now. Yeah, listen, back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, absolutely. You were able to do it. That's not the case now because also on top of that, wages have not gone up either.
That's the biggest problem.
Wages haven't gone up.
That's the biggest. Everything else has gone up except for wages.
And I'm not saying that minimum wage needs to go up. No. I'm saying wages need to go up with it. Isn't it funny that we give an adjustment to the cost of living to the minimum wage, but we won't do it for the people that are actually working, whose money's going in to pay,
Well, that's why I've always been against raising minimum wage, because I may have been at a company, I started on minimum wage, may have worked my way up an extra $5, $10 an hour. But if we're going to raise minimum wage $5, everyone else's wages aren't getting raised $5.
Correct.
In fact, it's going to take you longer to get another raise.
Correct.
Because now they got to pay more to entry level.
So we have that to deal with. Then on top of it, also keep in mind, back in the day, you didn't have the stuff with the health care and how it was mandatory, and where you had a full-time job and you didn't have to pay for health care, or health care wasn't that much. Government got involved. Now, because you said, no, I don't want your health care, boom, you're cut in half at 25 weeks now. Maybe you were working 50, 60 weeks with overtime. Good money. Well, nope, now you got 25 hours. We can max you out at 29, but we might need you to come in some extra. We don't want to, we don't want to have to hire you on full time. So let's keep it at 25. Let's keep it at 25 hours a week. So now you got to pick up another job. I know a lot of people that they're working 2 jobs. I know a lot of people, and they have kids. They're not home. They're working. And guess what? Their wife works a job too. So now you got 3. You have 3 incomes coming into one house. Neither parents are there. And you're wondering what's going on? What's happening with this generation? What's happened the last 20 years? I'm telling you right now what's been going on. We've watched it. So, like I said, I understand the way that it was. But you were also paying $250 for rent. If the trends followed the way that they should have, it'd be $800. Yeah, I could easily do $800 in rent. Are you kidding? That'd be incredible. That'd be awesome. Imagine what a house payment would be. If instead of that $50,000 to $70,000 home back in the day, if it wasn't anywhere from $450,000 to $700,000 now, yeah, it would be easy to buy a home. I would be able to do a down payment for that. And that's where a lot of people are right now. You have to meet them where they're at, because we can't expect to understand their problems if all we do is go, well, but I was able to do it. Well, that's good that you were able to do it. I'm glad, and I'm happy for you. Genuinely, I am. I'm happy that you were able to do that. But to assume that, college was a few $100 back then, or a few $1,000. People are in debt $120,000 now, just from college. Even trade schools are almost $30,000 to $50,000. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about 2 completely different things, and we expect it to be the same way. It's not how that works. It can't work that way. We have to be realistic with the way that things are going and the way that it's laid out now, with the way that inflation and other things have just driven it up. And what is left? Good jobs have left. Opportunities have left. And we've watched it for decades. And we've just watched it get worse and worse and worse. Because really, as people, there's nothing we can do about it. But the party messaging tells us that they're going to fix it, and then somehow it's worse. Somehow we're looking at it, we're going, well, hold on, wait, hold on. I thought you said you were going to, you couldn't. Oh, okay. But it hasn't kept up. It has not grown at the same rate. And the crazy thing is, the way that they convinced everyone, especially with the rent stuff. I remember hearing this all the time. Well, you need to rent. Rent's going to be cheaper than having to buy a new water heater. And then you look at it now, rent's so expensive, people can't save up for a down payment. Like, I really want people to realize this. You understand it too. There are some families, family of 4s, that are living in 2-bedroom apartments that are $2,000. How are they going to save up? A lot of them can't. So, you sit there and you scoff because, well, how dare you live that way? And look, here's the thing, and I'm not disagreeing about spending money on things that you don't necessarily need, but these people are working 1 or 2 jobs each. Then on top of it, they got their kids. So if they get a $5 coffee to try to, I'm going to make myself happy today. I'm going to try to stress a little less to get a $5 coffee. That's what we're going to hold against them? Not the fact that we've watched how bad it's become? I just think the priority on it's a little backwards. Like, I understand where you're coming from with it. Truly, I do. But I don't think that's going to make the difference. I think we're looking at decades where it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And a lot of people are just like, eh. Somebody just texted in, they said, my dad, I'll never forget how upset my dad was about having a $5 copay back in the day. Times that by 100, and you're lucky to have that as a copay today. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM, where you can watch us. We're on Rumble, X, and YouTube. It's the final half an hour. Just a reminder, at about 10 after 12, there it is, 10 after 12, the after show, the Jake Underwood Show after show. It's very creative, I know. That's going to be on Rumble. So if you're on Rumble now, just stay there, watch that stream. If you want to join the after show, you could do it. Just head over to the Rumble. Click on that. Top video right up top there. It's got a little outline on it. It says live. Just live. You'll see it there, and that's where we continue with the after show. I want to get to Jack. I apologize, Jack. You wanted to talk about paper ballots. We got off track there a little bit, but we're going to bring it back.
Jim will
do that. Yeah. So let's check in with Jack in Cleveland. Jack, you're in the air.
Hello, Jacob Underwood. How are you?
I'm well, Jack. How are you?
Fight, fight, fight. Do exactly what Donald J. says. And get well, Sethel, and hello, Kenny.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, the paper ballot thing. I've been listening. You've been on a couple other subjects, but the paper ballot. I've heard that the most honest elections held on the entire planet that they know of is in Taiwan, and there's another one somewhere in Europe. I forgot the location, but they count their elections. Say for Taiwan, I don't know how many millions it is, but say each state could copy what Taiwan does here in the United States, each state. And they do their elections. They count it by hand. They're witnessed by the police. They're verified, and everything's done by hand. And I'm going to tell you, that's the American way. To do these things with these microprocessors manufactured in Venezuela and then altered in China and hooked up to the internet by modem, demodem, what do they call them? Modems, modulator, demodulator, hook it up to the internet when it's not supposed to be. I mean, all of this gibberish is nonsense, but people are caught up in it. If they don't want to show up in person and vote, then they want to go to the baseball game. They want to go to some kind of a show or some kind of entertainment. They go through everything they go through to do that, but they don't want to show up in person and vote. They don't want to vote. And so that's the way that's got to be. But voting in person, I hear that Taiwan is one of the most honest ways to count your votes state by state here in the United States. All this other stuff, you're being set up. It's just a scam. It's being set up. Obama's, what do they call it, the modernization of the Smith-Mundt Act, that needs to be kicked out of our system. When he did that, he screwed everybody out of their rights. Obama's stench is left on this country's ability to function anymore as a constitutional republic. He destroyed so much. I mean, they're saying in books that are written by him, and I'm just a legend. His grandparents were Soviet spies. His mother was a communist. I mean, all this stuff is just, it keeps rolling on until we wake up and say, look, do it the American way.
Right.
Count it by hand, videotape it, whatever, hang on to it for 22 months for an audit, AUDIT. Why is it so difficult to get audits in the United States, Pennsylvania, Colorado? Why is it so difficult to get an audit? Because they're cheating. they're still counting votes in California. So I think people have common sense, and we need to go back to the original way, the American way of counting our votes. That's it. We'll be safe then. That real quick, though, here in Ohio, a law was proposed to our Governor DeWine that to illegally vote in the state of Ohio would be a crime. And what did this guy do? He says, no, I'm not going to sign it. So as far as all these elections up in the air and things being stolen, here in the state of Ohio, you come here and vote and cheat whatever you want. It's not a crime, thanks to, this old man that's on his way out of the door anyway. Why did he do that? I have no idea. I can only guess and make allegations. But another great show. It's raining outside, but it's always sunshine inside when you can hear other people's opinions. Don't let them take our AM radios out of our cars. No. You're going to find out that many of the owners of the stocks of Ford, of GM, Harley Davidson, or whatever, but the stocks, you can look at the stock market. A lot of those stocks are owned now by the Chinese communist cannibals. So you got to be careful of that. That's why they want to flip it that way. They own about everything. And one last thing real quick.
Yes.
When these companies come in from China, when they go over to China, the Chinese automatically own half of everything. Every single thing. General Motors, Ford, whatever. When they come back to the United States, that clause or whatever that is, that's got to disappear, because they're going to be even further ingrained and rooted into the economy and the manufacturing concept of our economy. And we can't not have that. We got to make sure they don't have that kind of a grip on our manufacturers. I really do believe that. But hey, another great show. I'm going to hang up, let you take another call. Thanks for talking to me, bud.
Yeah, of course, Jack. Thank you for the call. Jack always brings up good points. I gotta research 3 things that he was talking about there. I gotta look up the Taiwan elections, because I have heard that. I've just never really dove into it. And then the illegally voting bill, because I kind of remember hearing that. I have to refresh my memory on it. And then the China owning half. I mean, would that ownership then carry over if they move back here?
It shouldn't.
You would think it shouldn't. Yeah, we're gonna do some research tonight. That's what that is. Jack gave me some stuff to do.
Maybe we need to institute our own, where we own half of anything coming from China.
No, that would be, no, I agree with that. Let's see. Let's go to Nancy in Cleveland. Nancy, you're in the air.
Hi, talking about the affordability issue. 20 years ago, WHK hosted the Dave Ramsey Show. And I just discovered he's on the Biz channel in the evenings.
Yes.
But he said that the 3 things that get people in trouble is buying too much house, too much car, and too much college loan debt. Taking subjects that might not be needed by the time you graduate, or taking the social services or social studies. None of that earns you a practical paycheck. And so when I see people driving around with all these new vehicles, I says, I know they're in over their head with their debt, but the issue is that he used to tell you to eat rice, buy a good used car, no new cars if you're in debt, eat rice and beans, and he says keep doing that until you get your debt under control. And it's true that the people don't sit down and have a zero-based balanced budget when they do their income every month. And then they'll find out how much more they're buying that they don't need. But the other issue we have, a lot of small businesses have closed up in Cleveland. People are retiring, and nobody's buying their business. And the business was fairly successful because these people now are in their 60s and 70s. Instead of going to college, these young people should get together and buy a business like this. They've already invested money into a working business and eventually will be earning a paycheck instead of wasting it at college where you get trained to be a communist.
It'd be a better investment.
Yeah, no, it would be I would think, and Nancy, thank you for the call. Those are good points. But I would think that the main problem with that is just coming up with the money.
Okay, but
that would be the main thing.
You get a loan. You're getting a loan for student for your.
Well, yeah, but the bank's going to approve a student loan. I mean, that's the easy thing to approve. Are you
for your tuition? That's
right.
the word I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
For your tuition.
So are you going to?
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta. You figure it out.
I mean, you could get a student loan with any.
Loans.
You could get a student loan with any credit score.
Yeah, which is
any credit score.
Which is not
like if we want to talk.
Good.
If we really want to get into the nitty gritty, I mean that's also a problem.
That's a huge problem because you're putting people with bad credit into a bigger deficit.
Right. And I don't.
They have bad habits to begin with, and
right.
You're just going to give them more money to screw up.
Let's see here. We do have some text to catch up on. This I'll read that full text. It said, I'll never forget how upset my dad was having a $5 copay back in the 80s. He kept saying how he was already paying for coverage. Now, hold on. Now I have either a $35 or $50 copay to cover, quote, most of it. Someone says, Jake, if you really want to go back a couple of decades, you will see that this was all designed by the Democrats. With school loans and even housing availability, and how many houses were bought by BlackRock, Vanguard, and also State Street. They want to destroy the middle class, and it's happening before our very eyes. The apartment problem is simply supply and demand. I don't disagree, but I don't think it's just Democrats at this point. It's all of the above, because I see BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they are teaming up with whatever administration is in power. That tells me that it's just all kind of doing it. It's all part of the problem. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take our final break, come back for our final segment, put a bow on the show. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the final segment of the Jake Underwood Show on this Tuesday, July 21st, in the beautiful year that is 2026, in the greatest Cleveland area. Just a reminder, we do have the after show on Rumble. That's a Rumble exclusive. Stop by there, and we usually start about 10 after noon. So
yeah, just leave it on if you're watching on Rumble, or if you're not, get to it and leave it on, and we'll pop in, like you said, around 10 after.
Yeah, if you're already there, just hang out. That's the best thing I can tell you. We got a little group there now, so head on over there. Somebody texted in and said, "Thank you, Kenny Kidd, for steering the ship while Seth was rehabbing."
Absolutely.
So yeah, as I said, Seth Williams coming back tomorrow.
The Barbarian.
That's right. So we're gonna catch up with Seth and just get the update, because I know a lot of people were asking. A lot of people gave to the GoFundMe. You know, we praying, a lot of prayers, a lot of good things, and I'm glad that he's coming back.
He's got new Superman legs. Did you see
he
that?
He does. Yeah, I saw
awesome.
that. He went with the comic book style. So yeah, if that's on Facebook, if you haven't seen it, I will share that on the show page there, so people can find it.
Those look cool, but I was thinking, which would be really awesome, if he made them like somehow like looking like goat legs. Like how great would that be?
That would be pretty cool.
That would look really, really cool.
But yeah, so yeah, Seth is back tomorrow. But my understanding, Kenny, you're going to be here through the rest of the week, just because.
At least tomorrow, just to make sure he's okay and make sure he's up to speed, and we're all on the same page. So
cool.
Anything that he may need help with, or that I can help with,
right?
At least tomorrow, we'll see how that goes throughout the rest of the week. But yeah,
cool.
I was going to give him a call later tonight just to give him a heads up on anything that's changed, because it has been a while.
Yeah,
and we've changed the clock. There's 2 promos,
Right, yeah, so there's some stuff that we do. But yeah,
I just want to make sure I put him in the best positions.
Right.
Not thrown to the wall.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
back,
I have notes and everything else ready for him.
Yeah.
And so, he's going to be good to go. Yeah, like I said, we're going to catch up with him tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I'm glad that he's going to be back, that he's feeling up to it.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. And yeah, and he got magic legs. Lieutenant Dan got magic legs. So, yeah, as I said, we will catch up. Trying to think. Oh, awesome. Adam Miller from Combat Veterans. I can't remember the full name. I apologize. Oh, boy.
I got it here. Hold on.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I had it in my head. Oh, wow.
Concerned Veterans for America.
There it is. Thank you. Concerned Veterans for America. He is going to be on tomorrow. He wants to talk about the bill that did not pass. Mm-hmm. We heard from Max Miller on why he did not vote in support of it. It seemed like there was a lot of waste in that, and he also said that it was going to cut benefits. Yep. So we'll hear from Adam Miller on that, on what Max Miller had to say. A lot of Millers.
Compare and contrast. I wonder if they're related.
I don't know. We can ask him.
It's not a very common name, Miller.
Well, we are the Millers. Yeah, that's actually a very common name.
Probably third behind Jones and Smith.
There's a lot of common names. That's a very common name. There were some announcements made today by the task force, the fraud task force. Bobby Kennedy and Dr. Oz made some announcements, so we'll break that down probably during the after show. We'll hint that we'll do that a little bit. So yeah, I mean, Bobby, I'm reading some of these quotes. That's how we restore the integrity of our democracy. Look at this guy. That's how we make America great again.
There we go.
Do it, Bobby. Do it. So yeah, we'll do it. Right. So yeah, that's what we'll talk about during the after show. And also, just once again, because we spent a good portion of the show talking about it, I think there's got to be a reset to the Ohio GOP. There's got to be a reset, because the more we hear from people, the more people text in. There is no Conan legs were available. That's funny. That's very funny. That's from John. There needs to be a reset, because the disconnect is growing, and it's a very big disconnect.
Yeah, I think win or lose in November, it needs to be reset.
Yeah, I'm my gut feeling right now, where everything is, it's not going to be good for Republicans. It's not, and that's all right, because we'll gather the ashes, and we will rise like a phoenix from the ashes. But no, but
worst
seriously.
case scenario, yes. Best case scenario, we win, but we still need to self-reflect.
Now, here's the thing. If they win, they are not going to self-reflect.
They should.
Because no. They're going to say, this is what Ohioans want. And we will continue to give them what they want because we are the GOP. That's what they're going to do. There's not going to be any there's not going to be any self-reflection. There's no Michael Jackson starting with the man in the mirror. Nothing. There's not going to be any of that. If it's a clean sweep or if they win majority of the races, you're not going to have any of that.
You always need to be looking inward and making yourself better.
I mean, I agree. I mean, the conversations we have about the show, it's constantly, what can I do better? What aren't we doing well? What do we need to do better at? How can we make this even better? Like, businesses that want to get better are going to be successful. Mm-hmm. Anything, whether it's an organization like a political party, if it's a radio station, radio show, whatever it is, as long as they're willing to look at themselves. Because I'll be honest, there are some times, and usually it's right after it happens, and I go, that was not good. Yeah, we can't do that again. That was rough. Oh, boy.
Ooh,
yeah.
boy.
Ooh, that bit didn't go the way that I thought it was going to. There are those moments like that, but the problem is if the GOP wins, let's say they sweep, or let's say they win 60%, you're going to have the people that are staunch red no matter what, because that's what the party is telling them they should like. That's what they're going to like. We have to break rank from that. Still believe in our values, absolutely. But we have to get better people to represent those values.
But even if we win, we've got to look at it and be like, why was this even close?
It's
because it's going to be close regardless whether we win or lose.
Yeah, no, it's
going to be close. So we got to look at it and be like, why was this even close? This shouldn't have even been close.
Well, I think it starts with the candidate that you're putting up there.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it with 100%. But that's also, I mean, how did we get to that candidate? That's another thing that we need to be looking at. We need to look at every aspect of what's going into November.
I think we went with that candidate because we went with the celebrity of it. We said, oh, name recognition. They know that person. I couldn't tell you the thinking. Now, and also success in business and different things like that. I'm not taking away from that, but I'm saying initially, I think that's what the first thought was. Like I said, I wasn't in the meetings. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I hear way too many people saying that they are not motivated.
And that's not good. I'm not saying we've got bad candidates. I'm saying right now it's not looking as good as it should.
You know what? I'll say at the top of the ticket's rough. It's a rough sell. It's a hard to swallow. I'll admit that. I'll be the one to say that, and I'll take flack for it. Right now, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell because the more that comes out and the more voters interact with them, it's not good. I'll just say that. That's what I keep hearing. So hopefully I'm wrong.
Well, we still got a couple of months.
That's right. So we'll
hopefully
see what happens.
It starts ramping up, and all of this concern is for nothing. We'll see.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. One way or another, we're going to find out.
This has been the Jake Underwood Show, after show, starting in about 10 minutes on the Rumble channel. Thank you so much for listening and joining us. And to the people who called in and to the texters, thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow. Tell someone about Jesus today. We talked about a lot of negative things. And tell somebody some good news, and that's Jesus. So, yeah, we'll see you on Rumble. Have an incredible day. We'll be back tomorrow.